Welcome to the channel and welcome to the show. While I'm recording this video, we are getting very close to the longest day of the year in Holland, meaning that everything is, like you see behind me, green and full of life. And while everything is full of life, I'm going to be a bit of a contrarian today because I'm speaking to you about death. It could be that you're watching this video from the southern hemisphere. In that case, my video is right on time. But as it stands, I'm a bit of a contrarian today. The Christians, they believe that Jesus is the love and the light and the way. The Muslims believe that Muhammad is the perfect human being. I always wondered why the perfect human being murders and rapes so many people. I actually talked about this with a Muslim acquaintance of mine. He said, well, it's because it teaches us that we shouldn't shun conflict. But I said, listen, there's also a lot of stories where there are like groups of Jews who he's not at war with and you don't want to be at war with him and he murders them anyway. Well, after asking those questions, well, me and that acquaintance, we don't talk anymore. But to get back to the subject, Jesus is the love and the light, Muhammad is the perfect human being. So we tend to associate holiness with love and perfection. And then there's us, the pagans, the misfits, the outcasts. What do we believe? Well, we believe that the divine isn't exclusively found in a mosque or in a church. We believe that the divine is found in nature, but everywhere, even in death. So that's what we're talking about here. In Germanic and Norse mythology, the goddess of death is Hela, the daughter of Loki. And I'm here discussing why it's wise. It's wise to heed her lessons. It's wise to honor her in your own little way. And honor her we must. Let me explain what I mean by that. Hela can be seen as a woman who is split in the middle. Some texts say she's split in the middle like this, otherwise she's split here. But one part of her is beautiful and full of life, like nature is right now. And the other part of her is like death itself. So half of her face is like a skull, and the half of her face looks like a beautiful woman. That teaches us something. That teaches us that death, unlike life, is fair. She's neither good nor evil. She's neither chaos nor order. She's right in the middle. You can get some confirmation of the fact that this is true when you think of the final battle in Norse mythology, Ragnarok, where the forces of chaos fight with the forces of order. Where does Hela fight? She doesn't. When it comes to Ragnarok, Hela is like Switzerland. She stays neutral always. Because she in fact is neutral. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Because we often view death in a very negative way in our lives, of course. Because we all lose the people we love, whether we want to or not. And we feel in our hearts that that's unfair. But what we fail to realize is that if everybody just never died and went on living forever, we wouldn't appreciate it. We wouldn't appreciate the ones because we would take them for granted. Not only that, but only if somebody you truly love dies, only then you will see you will feel and you will know deep inside of you how extremely valuable your time with that person was, how extremely valuable your words, your actions were. It is only through death that we find the value of life. And that is why Hela, daughter of Loki, is fair. But that's just a literal sense. You can take this analogy further and it will still work. Because if you live life in a good way, I believe that you die many times before you actually physically die. Let me explain what I mean by that. Life is always changing, whether we realize it or not. The river always flows, and even if you stay at the exact same spot and you keep looking, every second it's a different river. Life is like that. Often we don't notice it because the changes happen in our subconsciousness or they just happen at our peripheral vision. But life is always moving and life is always changing, meaning that from time to time, life will ask you to change. And when you change, you open yourself up for something new. But it's not only that you open yourself up for something new, when you do that, there's a part of you that you also leave behind. There's a part of you that dies. So now we're back to Hela, we're back to death. To change, it means to die. We all have our habits. Some habits we can see clearly. We drink coffee every day. We smoke. We complain. But also our thoughts and our feelings always come back. And in a way, we like it, even if it's negative thoughts, but at least it's something familiar that we know. And it takes a lot of courage to let it go. If you don't let it go, if you don't face those little deaths, those big deaths inside of you while you live, what happens? What's the price we pay? Well, you can see your life as a vinyl record, meaning you have to move on to the center of the vinyl, you have to move on to the center of your life, you have to keep on moving to keep on playing the music that is you. But sometimes you get stuck in a groove, just like the needle of your vinyl record gets stuck in a groove. Just rotate. A wise man once told me, you know what the difference is between a groove and a grave? The depth. That's all it is. If you can't leave the past behind, and if you can't change, and if you can't allow part of yourself to die, to be reborn, then you are no longer in line with natural law. You can see it in nature, everything changes. Not just the seasons, not just day and night. Everything continuously changes. Rivers change, forests change, environment changes, everything changes. And if you think you can be just a certain way because you're very comfortable being that way, yes, you can, but you will pay a price. And being not in tune with natural law, meaning you will start to feel discomfort at first. And this discomfort will grow. And this discomfort will, after a while, nestle inside of your body. And you will get little pains and little ailments. And if you fail to understand what your body is talking to you, what your body is saying, it will get worse and worse and worse. The meaning of all this is you will die. The question is will you die willingly and by dying be reborn as a phoenix in the ashes of the old you? Or will you refuse to die and will you actually die? Those are the lessons, I believe, of Loki's daughter. The sacredness can be found in churches and mosques, but it can also be found everywhere, even in death. For those are the lessons of Hela. Ga met de goden. See you all in 2 weeks.